Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is our Rise News analyst, Emmanuel Efeni.
Good morning, Ruben.
Good morning.
Good morning, Rufai.
Morning, sir.
Yes, let's start the review quickly. Now, with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record, the lead story, NESG, the Nigeria Economic Summit Group, sets priorities for Atiku, Tinubu, Obi, Kwankwaso, others. Buhari, increased domestic production, value addition will address inflation, FX constraints. Ahmed, publication of FAQ, allocation meant to help citizens demand accountability. Federal government eyes 12 trillion naira in taxes by December. And of course, there's a quote there from the Nigeria Economic Summit Group. Any one of our candidates who seeks office of president and vice president who does not subscribe to these consensus issues does not clearly understand the problems facing us as a country, has not thought about how these problems must be dealt with, cannot have the capacity and understanding to lead this country at this time. Of course, a number of issues where the group and many Nigerians will agree that there is consensus that these are areas that the next president has to focus on. And as such, all presidential candidates should have a handle, a grip on these issues, and if they indeed want to solve the problem of Nigeria going forward. Ruben and Rufai, you dilated on this much earlier on the morning show, the news segment. But let me just look at the story above the masthead. Soludo, I won't succumb to bullies. Obi knows he can't win. Says it's making Tinubu's pathway to victory much easier, toying with Indigbo's destiny. Anambra governor being sponsored to weaken our candidate, Labour Party fumes. Yes, this is an interesting discourse. On the face of it, one will wonder. Chukwuma Soludo, the governor of Anambra State, the home state of former governor of that state, Peter will be presidential candidate of the Labour Party. It looks like, yes, trying to weaken Obi's base, but the issues which Soludo has raised need to be examined. He said in the politics of power, it's about cold calculation. And in his cold calculation, he doesn't see Obi winning the presidential election. He will make inroads, perhaps win Anambra State and Southeast States, according to Soludo. But he will be endangering the Igbos because in his own view, the PDP has always been, the Southeast has always been the stronghold of the South, of the Southeast being the stronghold of the PDP. So Obi is only chipping from the votes of the PDP, which will clear the pathway for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to win the election. Is it as simple as that? Now, two issues here. One, the clamor for Igbo presidency. You expect that every Igbo governor, Igbo person should be working for Peter Obi or any other Igbo candidate. For Peter Obi, his support base seems to have gone beyond, of course, the Southeast. Perhaps Soludo does not believe that will translate as such on election day. But he is saying that the total vote of the Southeast in the last election that gave victory to Buhari was what, 1.6 million votes, close to what came out from, or about what came out of Kanu. And as such, the 60 million Igbos will be endangered if... So in one breath, it's talking about a small percentage of Igbo votes. In another breath, talking about 60 million Indigbos. And I thought you should be worried about getting 60 million Indigbos or whatever the voter number is to come out and vote and make a statement. But to write off Peter Obi the way, Chukwuma Soludo has done, is something I'm sure will continue to raise dust. The last time I checked, Chukwuma Soludo was elected on the platform of APGA, or APUGA, as he prefers to call it when he's addressing his support base. But he seemed to be crying more than the bereaved for PDP, whose votes, he said, will be chipping away to create a path victory for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But of course, Chukwuma Soludo has his base, of course, his roots also in PDP.
Contested.
Yes, contested.
PDP in
yes.
09.
So perhaps his loyalty, his sentiment is still with the PDP, and he thinks he should make Obi the fall guy for whatever problems he thinks the PDP will be facing come the 2023 presidential election. I'm sure this will continue to...
I would like to react to that
yes.
story. I mean, if we get the track.
Yes, let me just rush through other newspapers quickly. The Guardian newspaper, despite Buhari's pledge to cut cost, presidential fleet racks up 64.15 billion naira. What Buhari's 237-day medical trips cost taxpayers? Landing, fuel, parking charges go up over 1.1 billion naira. Experts lament capital flights lost to medical tourism. Yes, the president is the chief medical tourist. That is a statement of fact. But can we make it better? Perhaps not enough time for Buhari to change the situation. The next president should make Nigeria more of a medical destination, because we have the personnel, we have the facility, we don't have the facilities, but a number of facilities coming up, private initiative. But let's just look at the foreign newspapers quickly, and I'll give you time to just chip in a word or two. Now, the Times of London, Sunak will help poorest by boosting living wage, payment for benefits claimants and pensioners. But the Daily Telegraph is reporting household face steep increase in council tax. Average bill will exceed £2,000 a year under Sunak's plans to help fund social plans. Now, the Conservative Party manifesto in 2019 pledged to keep veto on large council tax rises, insisting local people will continue to have the final say. But what Sunak is planning now is that up to 5% increase, the councils can go ahead without getting the people's nod.
Without a referendum.
Yeah.
Yes, without a referendum. Now, Rufai, you've been a supporter of Sunak, praising his economic wizard.
Yes.
Now he's the prime minister.
Yes.
Is he doing what he promised to do?
He's doing what exactly he promised to do. He will raise taxes. But the question is, he should be transparent of the length of the extent of the problem on ground. Till date. And that's why we're waiting for the, what is it called, on the 17th from OBR. We don't even know the extent of the fiscal black hole. But when you have crises like that, you have to buffer or raise taxes because the government needs the money to be able to fill it up. But what I don't subscribe to is the extent that the high-handed actually is doing it. Now he's raising on the energy companies windfall taxes and the likes. We all know how they had energy problem, crisis and all of that. He's looking at everywhere. But let's wait till the 17th and see what the OBR reports, comes out. But the solution to a problem like this, when you have a lot of deficit, is to raise taxes to be able to collect and buffer. The reason why Liz Truss' plan did not work was because she wanted to reduce taxes, and at the expense of that, you still need money to run governmental services, which will lead to bigger financial blackout because you have to pay for those services. concerning Mr. Soludo.
Yes.
I would have thought he would have responded and said, okay, I have the facts of the project or the investment that Peter Obi did as not worthy. But now he went against a terrorist. It's obvious he just came out to attack Peter Obi. How can you call somebody's presidential ambition a fleeting frenzy? How can you now narrow it to conversations about, okay, yes, I told you to come to APGA, you didn't listen to me, you went behind and all. All of this was just a personal attack on the
Is it a case of Soludo wanted to be the only star from the East?
So, and that's what a lot of people are even saying, does he want to run for presidency?
Yes.
Is there any presidency move by Soludo in the office? Because all of this was just a direct attack on Peter Obi and away from the real logic of the matter of investment not worth something. So he has something to grab. The Peter Obi team has the right to reply of this.
Robert.
Okay, well, no, there will be more time later to comment on the piece by Professor Charles Soludo, in which he was basically saying nobody can cow him and social media bandits cannot intimidate him. And he has come out in the equivalence of saying, look, I stand by what I believe in. I cannot be intimidated. Social media banditry is not acceptable. But he talked about other things also, about the future of Igbos in Nigerian politics and options available to Igbos in the 2023 electoral process. So it's not just about Peter Obi. There are other issues in that essay, which he has titled Part 1, perhaps in anticipating reactions,
So that he will come with counter-reaction.
So that he would, so it's a statement in a sense of saying this is my position and I'm not running away from it. As for the UK, yes, on Thursday we'll get clarity when the Sunak administration announces, releases the autumn statement, as they call it, on the budget. A lot of things there. He had said, of course, originally that people will have to make sacrifice. People have to prepare for hardship. Hence, households are going to pay more in terms of tax, on the average of about £200 extra. Okay, he's talking about council tax, which is what we were referring to, saying that town halls can go ahead and increase council tax. So that has been put on the table. But what I am interested in is what will happen to the triple lock pension. There have been indications that that will not be cancelled, with labor leaders like Starmer saying people will die, if you remove the triple lock system. Maybe that will work. But the bigger challenge that the government is facing is that the unions, led by Unite and 6 leading unions in the health sector, the Royal Society of Nursing, they're saying that they will shut down England in December because they want a raise. The Royal Nurses Union, they want a 17.6% raise. All the other unions, they want, wage indexation. Basically, that's the technical word. So it looks like it's going to be, at the end of the day, a winter of discontent in the United Kingdom, all things considered.
We'll see how racists will navigate that.
Let me just correct the error. Soludo was not a candidate of the PDP. He was an aspirant of the PDP in 2009. Just to correct that.
Okay, thank you very much, Emmanuel Efeni. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.